Hey guys! I'm back in Sweden. As you can see, I'm not in my apartment in Japan. And I've been in Sweden for like a week now, just relaxing, eating all the foods I missed, and playing with my pets, talking with my family, meeting friends, and it's been awesome. And I can't say I've forgotten about my Japanese life, but I've kind of put that aside because I felt like I had to rest, especially from the hectic test season. But these past few days, I've kind of started to reflect on my test season and my university semester overall. It has, after all, been my first semester in a Japanese university, or in a university in general, ever. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to stop and reflect on how my semester was and how I feel about it. So I just want to have a little chat while eating some cereal that looks terrible, but that's because I topped it with a lot of cinnamon. It's actually 2:30 p.m. So I guess this is my lunch. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about the courses I took. So in my university, I'm not sure if it's the same in Japanese universities in general, but I know that in Swedish universities, the things you have to study are already pretty set out. Like my sister is studying in a Swedish university right now, and she can't really choose what to study. Everyone has to study basically the same thing. But in my university, we're very free to choose what the courses we want to take. So I'm studying media. But obviously media is very broad, but I can choose not to take classes in design or journalism if I don't want to. And my plan is to focus more on TV production and working in a studio and editing, filming, radio, creative things like that. Working with cameras and doing things. So I can choose to only take those kind of courses and to kind of specialize in that field if I want to. So this first semester, we actually had quite a lot of classes that everyone had to take. They were already decided, kind of basic classes where we got to learn about how to use the digital camera, how to use editing software, and basic things about working in a TV studio, and also basic things about writing reports in journalism and analyzing and stuff like that. So I had to take some of those courses that were already decided and set out. So basically we can study courses related to our own program, for me media, and we also have other courses we have to take. We can still choose, but we choose from a group of subjects that everyone has to take. They're called general subjects or common subjects or something like that. So I took psychology, I took human relations, and what else did I take? Well, I took French. That's the same thing. And I had to take Japanese, which all of the exchange students or the foreign students have to take instead of English. And yeah, I think that's about it. And then, I took arts as well, art history and stuff like that. And we have a different set of points we have to get for the general subjects and for the subjects related to our program. I want to get as many points as possible from the general ones. So when I become a second-year student and when I'm a third-year student, I can focus on the media-related ones more. So I kind of want to get all of the, whatever I'm going to take, history or religion or psychology and all of that. I want to get that done as soon as possible so I can focus on media when I start to do internships and stuff like that. That's my plan anyways. Basically, you can say that my first semester, in terms of what I studied, it was very spread out. It wasn't I just studied media things. I studied a bunch of different things. So I guess that was cool, but I did choose this university because I want to study media. So I'm excited to go into that even more and slowly but surely drop all of the other subjects that are interesting. I love learning about psychology and I love just learning things, but I'm for sure excited to do more media related things and just focus on that. So in terms of how difficult I found the first semester and the courses, I guess that the contents of most of my classes wasn't that difficult. A lot of the things we learned were pretty basic, especially in the courses we everyone had to take, because they were teaching us. They were there to teach us the basics of a lot of things. But Like, I guess psychology wasn't that easy, and we had another one that all the media students had to take, which is sociology. And I did struggle with some of the courses I took, like the ones I just mentioned, both because of the contents, because there was a lot of information to remember. But I think the thing I struggled with the most is, no surprise, the language. Like, I think my Japanese level, like, I knew when I applied to this university that I would struggle with just vocabulary and the language, and that I wouldn't be able to understand as much as the other students. And I for sure felt that now being here. Like, I did struggle with the language in some classes. Some weren't that difficult. Like, human relations class, I feel like had a lot of vocabulary that I knew already because it's something that I'm interested in. And like, arts, well, some history related words were kind of difficult, but like psychology has a lot of words that I would almost not even understand in English or Swedish. So I really had to work not only on understanding the contents, but also understanding the Japanese. And I was like always sitting like with my phone, using my dictionary to look up words and write them down. And I make sure to always sit in the front of the class or the classroom so that I can focus better. So I'm aware of the teacher always looking at me, which means that they see me using my phone all the time. So I'm just hoping and praying that they understand that I'm using a dictionary and not like texting people. Because without the dictionary, I think I wouldn't understand like half as much as I did. I do know a lot of Japanese, but there's for sure a lot of Japanese that I don't know as well. So I really had to focus on studying more Japanese as well as like learning the actual contents of the classes. One thing I struggled with a bit was that like I put a lot of pressure on myself when it comes to like my academic abilities. And it's not like I'm an like A+ student in everything and I need everything to be perfect, but I do expect myself to do well. Even though I know I'm not that good in something, I still want to do well in those things, which is really unrealistic. And when I was in language school, I was one of the top students. Actually, I was in the top class at my school, like the people with the highest level of Japanese. And in that class, I was also like, personally, I want to say like I was in the top, like not the best person, but in the top of that class. And to be honest, I'm just gonna say it as it is. I had A in all my subjects. I got a diploma for having perfect attendance and for like, okay, I'm not gonna say too much, but I got a few diplomas for like, I guess, being a good student. And so I was used to being like the good student. In high school, I was like in the middle. I wasn't the worst, but I wasn't the smartest or the best student with the best grades either. But in my language school, I was pretty good. And that was my life for 2 years. So I kind of got used to the feeling of like, I was confident in my abilities as a language school student. And taking that to coming to this university where I'm already behind in terms of language abilities. And also like, I haven't been to high school in like 3 years. And all of my classmates who are 4 years younger than me actually, they've just finished high school, so they're coming fresh with all of this information that they've had to cram into their heads in order to pass their university exams. Like, I feel like there's like a unbalance in what we know. So I feel like I'm both behind a little bit, like of course in terms of language, but also in terms of like general knowledge. And I am so painfully aware that I cannot be the best student, not yet. Maybe later on, when I learn even more Japanese, I'm gonna be able to get up there. But right now, it's just not possible for me to be like the best student. I can be good and I can work my hardest, but there's still like a difference in the level, right? And I've kind of had to accept that over this semester, but on the other hand, I've kind of had to remind myself that if I look at it from a broad perspective, I'm here as a foreign student. I've done something big coming here, learning the language to go to a university here. So I know it's stupid to compare myself with the students because I'm just here. I've come like from another angle than they have. So it's not that I'm behind in, I don't know how to explain it. Basically, I want to be a good student and I'm working on that. My arts teacher, he said that to get better grades or to have a chance of getting better grades, he asked us to go and visit museums. and then write kind of a little report about the place, like what we liked, what gave us like the best impression, and what we remembered. And the more we wrote, the better chance we had of getting higher grades, especially if our grades were like between a B and an A, like that. Those reports would like push us up to an A. And so I was really motivated, and that same weekend I went to my first museum. I actually ended up not writing that report and not turning it in. I was so motivated. I went to the museum and I was like, I'm gonna be the best student. And then I came home and I just couldn't write the report because I wanted it to be as good as possible. And when I couldn't do that, I didn't want to present myself to the teacher with something that wasn't good, and I just lost confidence. That's, I guess, one example of kind of what I was struggled with a bit this semester. But in the end, I did actually go to another museum and I wrote the report and I turned it in. So that's something that I feel like I will have to work even harder on in this coming semester, just being more confident in the Japanese I know and hoping that the teachers understand and forgive me for my Japanese like grammar mistakes and stuff, and just appreciate that they have a foreign student in the university. I don't know. Looking back, I do feel like I could have studied more, especially to prepare for my exam season. I decided to start really studying from June because my tests would be in the end of July and August. But I kind of kept thinking like, oh, it's gonna be fine. Like, it doesn't seem to be that hard. And I think I should have taken it a bit more seriously. Like, I did study. It wasn't like I didn't study at all, but I feel like I could have studied more. And yeah, it's just something that like I want to take this feeling with me into the next semester and just be even more fast to prepare for the tests when they come up, and just like to revise a little bit all the time. In terms of like my social life, I've made a lot of really good friends. It was kind of weird in the beginning that like to have all of my classmates be 4 years younger than me. And I was a little scared of them thinking that I was like a grandma. But first of all, I look really young. I don't look like, I was 22 at the time, but I don't look like I'm 22 or now 23. And if people hear that I'm a first year student, they don't assume that I'm that much older than them. So it's fine. And even if I say I'm older, like I think I have an easy time blending in to any like circle of people. So I haven't had any problems making friends, and I've joined a really good circle. And yeah, I have some good like foreign friends as well among the foreign students, and I've made some good contacts with some teachers as well and some staff at the school. And yeah, all in all, I think I'm happy with how I did this first semester. Yeah, I'm just really proud of myself that I managed to get into Japanese university and that I've finished my first semester, and I'm excited for this coming semester as well. I know it's going to be more busy. I'm going to start working and probably join another club as well. More about that later. But yeah, I should be prouder of myself. I think I did a good job. And now I'm going to relax for a few more weeks here in Sweden before my next semester starts. I'm actually going to sit down now and plan for the next semester and what I'm gonna take, all the classes. I'm gonna create a schedule here so I'm done with everything when I come back. But yeah, I'm excited for that, and I'm excited that you want to tag along with me on my university journey. And I'm gonna share my good times, my bad times, my successes, and my failings. So if you want to follow me in that, maybe be a supporter or laugh at me or whatever, if you want to tag along on my journey, make sure to subscribe to my channel and also follow me on Instagram because I post a lot about my life there. And if you want to see anything about what I'm doing here in Sweden, you should go right now and follow, because I post a lot every day of everything I'm doing here in Sweden. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of this really rambly university video. And if you have any questions about my life or more about what I'm studying, how I got into university, or how my time in language school was, don't hesitate to ask that. I could even make a video about that if that's something you want me to do. And yeah, I should stop talking now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!